Hi, welcome to my channel, Second PUC Accountancy. Today we are going to see one sum under death of a partner, where we will be preparing partner's capital account when the balance sheet is not given. Now let us move on to see the question. So this is the question given here. We are going to prepare partner's capital account when the balance sheet is not given. Rajesh, Rakesh, and Ramesh are partners sharing profits and losses in the ratio of 3:2:1. Their capitals as on 1st April 2024 were 1 lakh, rupees 90,000 and rupees 60,000 respectively. Rajesh died on 1st October 2024 and the partnership deed provided the following. The adjustments are interest on Rajesh's capital at 10% per annum. The next adjustment is Rajesh's salary rupees 2000 per month, and the third adjustment is his share of accrued profit up to the date of death based on previous year's profit, and the firm's profit for 2023-24 is rupees 24,000. And the last adjustment says that his share of goodwill is rupees 12,000, which has to be treated as per AS 26. Ascertain the amount payable to Rajesh's executor by preparing Rajesh's capital account. Let's first see the adjustments. As per the question here, the ratio given in the question is the old ratio between Rajesh, Rakesh and Ramesh is 3:2:1. Now here Rajesh dies, so therefore the gain ratio between Rakesh and Ramesh will be 2:1. That is, we will be just excluding the deceased partner's account. The remaining share will be the gain ratio of the continuing partners. Now let's see what is the share of the deceased partner, that is Rajesh's share on his retirement is 3/6, and he died on 1st October. So therefore here under the death of a partner it is necessary to calculate the intervening period, that is from the last date of the previous balance sheet till the date of death. So therefore the intervening period of the deceased partner Rajesh will be 9 months. Now here we have to take the entries into the capital account. So first the Rajesh's capital should be taken as the opening balance, that is given as 1 lakh, and it will appear on the credit side of the deceased partner's capital account. Now as per the adjustment, first adjustment says interest on Rajesh's capital at 10%. So calculate interest for the intervening period. That will be 1 lakh into 10/100 into the intervening period 9/12, which will be 5,000 rupees. That is the interest on capital, and this also will appear on the credit side of the deceased partner's capital account, as these are the entries or the amounts which the deceased partner should receive. The next adjustment is Rajesh's salary. Here the salary is given per month, so we have to provide the salary for Rajesh for the intervening period. So Rajesh's salary will be 2,000 into 9 months, that is 18,000. So this salary also is to be provided for the partner. It's an income for the partner. Therefore, it will appear on the credit side of the deceased partner's capital account. Next, the third adjustment says that his share of accrued profit up to the date of death based on the previous year should be provided, and the previous year's profit is given to us. So here the next adjustment will be when it is an accrued profit, the entry should be transferred to the profit and loss suspense account, as it is not the current year's profit, but since the current year's profit is unknown, we are calculating the profit for the deceased partner based on the previous year. So it is called as profit and loss suspense account or accrued profit. So how it is calculated? It is the profit, that is the previous year's profit, into his share into the intervening months. So that is 24,000 into his share is 3 by 6 into the intervening months is 9 by 12, which will be 6,000. This 6,000 also is an amount of income which has to be provided for the deceased partner. Therefore, it will appear on the credit side of the deceased partner's capital account. Now, the next adjustment, very important adjustment, is the treatment of goodwill. So, his share of goodwill is rupees 12,000. So, here they have directly given us his share of goodwill. Now, this goodwill of the deceased partner, as per AS 26, will be contributed or borne by the continuing partners, as they are going to gain the profit on his death. So they have to contribute the goodwill for the deceased partner in the gain ratio. That is goodwill, that is Rajesh's share of goodwill, rupees 12,000 should be borne by Rakesh and Ramesh in the gain ratio 2:1. So it is the share for Rakesh will be 12,000, that is the goodwill amount, into 2 by 3, that is the gain ratio of Rakesh will be 2 by 3. So Rakesh has to contribute 8,000 for the deceased partner. Similarly, the other continuing partner is Ramesh. So Ramesh also should contribute a share, that will be 12,000 into 1 by 3, that will be 4,000 rupees should be contributed by Ramesh for the deceased partner. So this entry also is an income which has to be provided for the deceased partner. So it will appear on the credit side of the deceased partner's capital account. Now with these adjustments, now we are going to prepare the deceased partner's capital account, that is Rajesh's capital account. Now let us open the deceased partner's capital account, that is Rajesh's capital account. We have debit side and credit side. So here we are going to only prepare the deceased partner's capital account to find out his final settlement for the executor of the deceased partner. So first we have to open the account with the balance, the capital balance of the deceased partner. So Rajesh's capital is rupees 1 lakh. So we are going to bring down the balance as by balance brought down on the credit side, that is 1 lakh, the capital of the deceased partner. Next, we are going to bring down all the adjustments that have to be provided for the deceased partner. Here we have interest on capital, that is 1 lakh into 10 by 100 into 6 by 12, which will be 5,000, which will appear on the credit side of the deceased partner's capital account, as it is a amount which the deceased partner has to receive on his death. Next is his salary. The salary for the intervening period will be 2,000 into 6 months. So it will be by salary on the credit side, rupees 12,000. Next adjustment given for us is the profit which has to be provided based on the previous years, that is the accrued profit, which will be transferred to the profit and loss suspense account. So here also, based on the previous year, 24,000 into 3 by 6, that is his share, into the intervening period, that is 6 by 12, should be provided on the credit side of the deceased partner's capital account. It will be 6,000 on the credit side. Now, the next important adjustment is with regard to the goodwill. So, the deceased partner on his death should be provided with the goodwill, a share of the goodwill. So, his share of goodwill was 12,000, which will be contributed by the continuing partners or borne by the continuing partners as per AS 26. So, first, by Rakesh's capital account. So, Rakesh is going to contribute for Rajesh, that is goodwill 12,000 into 2 by 3. So 12,000 is the total goodwill which the deceased partner should get, which will be contributed. A share will be contributed by Rakesh, that is 2 by 3. So Rakesh will provide 8,000 for the deceased partner, and the other part will be provided by Ramesh, that is by Ramesh's capital account, 12,000 into 1 by 3. So he will contribute 4,000 for the deceased partner. So with this, we have taken all the adjustments to the deceased partner's capital account, or all the amounts that he has to receive on his death, which the executor has to receive on the death of a deceased partner. So now we are going to balance it, get the total. The total will be 1,35,000. Write the same total on both the sides, 1,35,000. So the final settlement which the executor of Rajesh will receive will be written as to Rajesh's executor's account. So it will be transferred to the executor. So on behalf of the deceased partner, the executor has to receive the settlement. So it will be transferred to the executor's account, 1,35,000. So here there will be no balance brought down. So this is how the deceased partner's capital account is being prepared, and we find the settlement that has to be made to the deceased partner's executor. Hope it is clear, students. In the next class, we will see another sum with a different adjustment.